Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Els. Fall is one of my favorite seasons, even though I do have really bad fall allergies. I love getting in the mood for fall and reading books that feel autumnal and drinking the fall Starbucks drinks and buying things that are cheesy and autumnal. I love that stuff. So today I figured I would share some books that I like to read to get ready for fall and to just really maximize the fall autumnal atmosphere. In this video, I'll be recommending books from just about every genre. We've got rom-coms, romance, fantasy, classics, thrillers. So hopefully there's something in here for everyone. If you have any fall book recommendations or books that you have just been loving recently, comment them below. I'm always looking for books to add to my TBR. And let's get started. The first book we have is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is actually the first Ali Hazelwood book that I've ever read. This is a paranormal enemies to lovers arranged marriage romance, and it is so fun. It's about Misery and Lo. And Misery is a vampire and Lo is a were. This book is a romance novel, but it has a lot of rom-com-y elements to it. This book is very self-aware of vampire and werewolf tropes. I feel like paranormal books specifically are so great for Halloween, and so this would be a perfect book to pick up this fall. Next, we have another rom-com, which is The Ex-Hex. It's about Reese and Vivian. Vivian is a witch, and Reese is her ex-boyfriend. And years ago, when they broke up, Vivian was so upset at him that she cursed him. Now, 9 years later, Vivian and Reese have to team up to break that curse before it destroys their whole town. This book happens on a very set timeline, which I think is nice, and it moves really fast. This is an enemies to lovers second chance romance. Of course, it's paranormal as well, and it's perfect for Halloween. I don't know about you guys, but I really associate fall with football. I don't even watch football. I've never watched football. I went to an all-girls boarding school, so football's not a big part of my life, but I love a football romance. So of course I have to recommend The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This book is the ultimate slow burn. This is an enemies to lovers, forced proximity, marriage of convenience romance. This book is about Aiden, a professional football player, and Vanessa, who was his personal assistant before she quit because she just hated him so much. And then he shows up at her apartment and he's like, hey, I need a favor from you. And she's like, I quit 3 days ago. No. And he's like, no, hear me out. I need my green card so that I can switch football teams. He's from Canada, so we need to get married. A book that I'm hoping to read this fall is actually the next book in this series, which is about Aiden's best friend. Next, we have a thriller, which is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I feel like any Riley Sager book is perfect for October specifically. It's not the best literature you'll ever read, but it's fast-paced, it's fun, it's exciting, there's always a good twist at the end. This book is about Casey, who escapes to her family's lake house for a while just to de-stress and kind of get her bearings again in life. Where her lake house is, though, is a very selective and small community, and everyone's house around the lake has been passed down from generation to generation. And so when she sees new people move in across the lake from her, she is immediately intrigued because there are no new people in this neighborhood. She falls into a bit of a rabbit hole watching them from across the lake and getting really involved in their personal lives, and things take a very crazy turn. I really liked this book. Again, it's not the best read out there, but it is so fast-paced and so fun and perfect for Halloween. I feel like with fall and back to school, I tend to gravitate towards more dense reads, specifically dark academia books. I absolutely love the dark academia aesthetic. I'm an English major, and so of course I have to recommend a few dark academia novels as well, including Bunny by Mona Awad. This book is so good and so weird. I don't even know if this is more dark academia or magical realism. This book follows Samantha, who is a graduate student in a small writing program. All of her classmates are these very odd women who all are in a big clique or friend group, and they all call each other Bunny and act really strangely, and she's always been on the outside of that group until she gets invited in. And that's when she discovers that these girls are more than just strange. They are outright crazy. I really loved this writing style, and the book in general. It had lots of twists and turns. This feels like a good mix between literature and a thriller. It has a very creepy vibe, and it definitely puts you on edge while you're reading. So it's perfect for Halloween. And then of course I have to recommend my favorite dark academia book ever, which is If We Were Villains. This book is like The Secret History but Shakespeare. It's about 7 students that exclusively study Shakespeare at a very, very small college, and they get very into his work. They start speaking in Shakespeare outside of class. They perform Shakespeare both in class and outside of class. The main plot of this book revolves around a murder mystery when one of the players is found dead after their final performance of Caesar. I absolutely adored this book. The way that it shifts into Shakespeare's language so seamlessly is gorgeously done, and the way it flows is beautiful. The twist at the end is very unexpected, and you don't have to be a big fan of Shakespeare to really appreciate it. I will say it helps. Like, I have annotated the heck out of this book. Every time they speak a Shakespeare line, I find it. Sometimes I do know the quote already. I will always recommend this book. Okay, next we have one of my favorite fantasy novels of all time, and that's Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. She also wrote Ninth House and Shadow and Bone. The plot is really nothing new. It's a team of ragtag kids that go on a heist mission, but the characters are so great and so well developed, and you really don't know what's going to happen. Like, every 3 chapters there's a twist. You're like, they're not gonna pull it off, and then they do, and it's actually very good and very much keeps you on your toes. I think that this book is perfect for fall because it does have a very dark aesthetic to it. Next, I have another fantasy novel, and that's Caraval. This book is set in a magical world with a special game show called Caraval, and it's kind of like the Hunger Games mixed with a scavenger hunt, mixed with Alice in Wonderland. In this book, Scarlet ends up entering Caraval after her sister does so that she can go and rescue her. Honestly, when I first got this book, I went on TikTok and looked it up and tried to find a synopsis or something that made sense. I couldn't find anything. Everyone that recommended this book just showed a line from the book or kind of an aesthetic of the book. I had no idea what this book was about until I read it, and now that I've read it, I still kind of don't know what this book is about. All I can do is keep recommending it because it is such a good read. Next, we have a book that I absolutely love, and that's In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This book is a piece of very dark classic literature. It follows 2 murderers after they commit a very heinous crime, and they're on the run from the police, and it follows them as they reflect on the crime and as they kind of figure out what their life is going to look like going forward, and how their life went to get them to the point where they committed that crime. This book is very, very interesting. It is gorgeously written, but it did give me nightmares. I would say that this is the scariest horror novel that I've ever read. And if that sounds good to you, then this would be a perfect Halloween read. And last but not least, we have one of my favorite books of all time, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This book follows Catherine, who loves to read specifically gothic romances and mysteries, very exciting reads, quite like the books that I've been recommending in this video. And Catherine's best friend invites her to stay at an old mansion. Catherine immediately jumps on the opportunity to go and stay there for a little bit with her friend because she has read so many novels and she's convinced that her experience staying at this mansion will be just like the novels. As the book goes on, Catherine gets so wrapped up in her fantasies that you really can't tell what's actually happening and what's happening in her head, and you can't tell if things are actually scary or not. I really love this book, especially the first 100 pages or so, and I would highly recommend it. All right, and that is all that I have for you today. If you have read any of these books, comment below what you thought of them. If you have any recommendations based off of this list, comment those as well, and I will see you next time.